Ukraine's central regions, Zaporizhia and Dnipropetrovsk, have come under what officials have described as a massive attack, with explosions and strikes.
What if one of Moscow's proudest symbols of wealth and power suddenly became the target of war? A shining skyscraper worth nearly $3 billion, standing tall in the heart of Russia's financial capital, struck by Ukrainian drones. This is not the plot of a movie, it's reality. Today, we take a deep look at the dramatic incident where Ukraine targeted Moscow's famous Evolution Tower, exploring what happened, why it happened, and what this means for the future of the war. The Evolution Tower is not just another building. Located in Moscow City, the city's most modern business district, it stands out with its spiral design, twisting like a ribbon into the sky. Built to symbolize Russia's progress, ambition, and connection with global markets, it houses multinational companies, luxury offices, and high-end spaces. To many Russians, it represents pride and modernity. To the outside world, it shows that Moscow is not only a political capital, but also an economic powerhouse. This is exactly why striking such a landmark carries more weight than hitting a military warehouse or a border village. It attacks the very image of Russia's strength. According to reports from the Russian side, multiple Ukrainian drones flew deep into Russian territory and reached the Moscow region, bypassing layers of air defense. Explosions were heard, parts of the tower's glass facade were shattered, and emergency crews rushed to secure the area. While Russian officials quickly claimed that damage was minimal and most drones had been intercepted, videos and images circulating online told a different story. Smoke, debris, and visible impact points made it clear that the attack was not just a small scare, it was a direct hit at the Russian capital's core. Now, this is not the first time Ukraine has used drones against Moscow. Over the past year, Ukraine has repeatedly tested Russia's defenses by sending drones hundreds of kilometers into enemy territory. But this attack stands out for one reason: the symbolic target. Hitting the Evolution Tower was not about destroying Russia's economy overnight. Instead, it was about proving that Moscow, with all its pride and wealth, is not beyond the reach of Ukraine's growing drone capabilities. In psychological warfare, symbols matter, and Ukraine chose a symbol worth billions. From a strategic point of view, the attack highlights Ukraine's shift in tactics. For much of the war, Russia has unleashed missile barrages on Kyiv, Kharkiv, Odessa, and other Ukrainian cities, often hitting civilian infrastructure and causing blackouts, fires, and countless deaths. Ukraine has been forced to live with destruction almost daily, but now, Kyiv is turning the pressure back on Moscow. The message is simple: if you can strike us, we can strike you too. And no matter how tall your buildings or how strong your defenses, you are not untouchable. Of course, Russia's official response followed a predictable pattern. Authorities claimed air defense systems successfully neutralized most drones, and they downplayed the damage. But actions speak louder than words. Immediately after the attack, Russian security services tightened restrictions around the capital. Military analysts inside Russia began openly questioning how such drones could fly past multiple defense zones to hit one of the most prestigious districts in Moscow. If such high-value locations can be struck, what does that say about Russia's overall security? The international reaction has been just as intense. Many Western analysts see this as Ukraine sending a powerful warning that it can bring the war to Russia's doorstep if Moscow continues its brutal assaults on Ukrainian cities. For Ukraine, these attacks are not only tactical, but symbolic victories that raise morale among its people and armed forces. On the other hand, some global voices have expressed concern that targeting Moscow directly could escalate the war even further, giving Russia justification to intensify its missile attacks against Ukraine. The world is watching carefully, because each drone strike on Moscow carries the risk of reshaping the balance of the conflict. So what happens next? Ukraine has proven that it can hit Moscow's economic heart with precision. The question is whether this will become a pattern. Will Kyiv continue targeting symbolic landmarks like skyscrapers and government buildings to shake Russian confidence? Or will it focus on purely military installations to weaken Russia's war machine? For Russia, the challenge is clear. It must either dramatically strengthen its air defenses or risk seeing more of its proud capital turned into a battlefield. In the bigger picture, this drone strike marks a turning point. The war is no longer just about tanks and trenches in eastern Ukraine. It's about technology, psychology, and global perception. Striking a $3 billion skyscraper like the Evolution Tower is not just an act of war. It's a message to Russia, to Ukraine, and to the entire world. No city, no landmark, no power is truly safe in this new era of warfare. The world now waits to see how Moscow responds. Will it retaliate with more missiles? Will it tighten its security grip on the capital? Or will this attack force Russian citizens to question the cost of the war that their government started? One thing is certain, the strike on the Evolution Tower has changed the narrative. Moscow, once untouchable, has been touched, and that changes everything. And so, the strike on Moscow's Evolution Tower is more than just a news headline. It's a symbol of how this war is evolving before our very eyes. A $3 billion skyscraper, once built to showcase wealth and modernity, now scarred by the reality of conflict. For Ukraine, it's a message of resilience and reach. For Russia, it's a warning that even its most protected city is vulnerable. The question now is not only how Russia will respond, but how the world will interpret this shift. Are we witnessing the beginning of a new phase of the war, one where symbols and psychology matter as much as weapons and territory? Or is this just a glimpse of a much darker, more dangerous escalation yet to come? Only time will tell. Thank you for watching. If you found this breakdown insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the biggest global stories shaping our world today. Stay tuned, because history is unfolding and every detail matters.